because of that name, that word victory. This feels to me like a victory. It is certainly an exciting day for Syracuse University and Syracuse University athletics, and as Steve said, we are here to launch a new era of Syracuse University athletics, and I could not be more energized and excited to mark this moment with all of you. We're here to welcome Bryan, but not just Bryan, but Bryan's family, Bryan's wife Jenna, their children Brielle and Bo, as the newest members of the Syracuse Orange family. And before I say a word or two about Bryan, I think it's important that I extend some gratitude as well. First, I want to acknowledge someone who's not here with us today, but very much wanted to be. John Wildhack is in Tampa for the NCAA tournament as part of his service as a member of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Selection Committee. That fact tells you everything you need to know about John Wildhack. Even in the final stretches of his remarkable career here at Syracuse, he's out there both serving his profession and representing Syracuse University. John has, for me, been a decade-long friend and a colleague and someone I admire greatly. He loves this university deeply, and he's done so much to make us better across everything that we do at the institution. So I wanted to be sure to acknowledge and send gratitude to John. Second, I want to thank the Athletics Director's Search Committee. This group moved with urgency and with great care, and they delivered. Thank you, Steve Ballantyne, who led that effort with the same energy and commitment that Steve brings to everything he does for Syracuse University. And I'm deeply grateful to Steve and to the committee for their hard work. Next, I want to say something about what this moment means for Syracuse University. As a newly appointed chancellor, make no mistake, I understood the gravity of the choice I had to make, because so many of you reminded me on a daily basis. You reminded me at the gas station and at Wegmans and at Home Depot and even sitting in the waiting room of my dentist. You reminded me. A lot of people had a lot of opinions, and I mean that very respectfully. I listened, I learned, and I'm grateful for the many, many conversations that shaped this process. Those conversations reminded me that both who and how we hire our next athletic director would actually send a signal about how I lead and what I value and what I expect. And at the same time, I very much knew what I was looking for in this process. I've spent 20 years of my academic life studying entrepreneurs and transformative leaders, and what I mean by that is the kind of leaders who intuitively understand that a path littered with the footprints of others will very predictably lead to nowhere new and to nothing extraordinary. And I'm convinced that only those that understand that particular truth will be able to successfully navigate what's ahead for college athletics. So what was I looking for in Syracuse University's next athletic director? I was looking for somebody who looks at the sky and doesn't see the ceiling. Somebody who, in the face of what will be a million daily reminders of all that might go wrong, someone who will not allow Syracuse University athletics to be a chapter in someone else's book, but who will lead us to author a uniquely orange story. I wanted somebody willing and equipped to commit to be the architect of something different and something better and something great. That's because Syracuse University in this moment does not need an AD who will manage for the moment. We need an athletic director who will shape the moment and candidly bend that moment to our will. And that's who Bryan Blair is. Bryan's leadership has been forged in an era almost entirely consistent with the challenges that we face today. He's never really known a world without NIL or the transfer portal or revenue sharing. At Toledo, he built one of the most sophisticated NIL ecosystems in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. At Toledo, he increased fundraising by 282%, including securing the second largest gift in school history. He activated underutilized facilities into revenue generating assets. and implemented a department-wide data and analytics initiative, all powered by AI. Simply put, for his entire career, Bryan's been building what comes next before most of his peers realized what was happening now. And Bryan Blair wins. Under his leadership, Toledo earned 3 consecutive MAC Cartwright Awards as the conference best overall athletic program. He delivered 16 conference championships in less than 4 years, more than in the previous decade combined. From 2022 to 2024, Toledo led the nation in combined conference wins across football, men's basketball, and women's basketball. And in a single year, they became the first program in school history to win both the MAC top men's and women's program honors. That is not a coincidence. That is a culture. That is leadership. What also set Bryan apart for me, and I want to be clear about this, is his commitment to the academic mission. He is a former Division I student football athlete. He holds a law degree. At Toledo, his student athletes achieved 11 consecutive semesters with a GPA over 3.3. And something that I had never encountered before in my career. At Toledo, Bryan, as athletic director, was asked to co-chair the university search for its next executive vice president and provost, a role that I think is really unheard of and unprecedented in the context of competitive college athletics. In 2024, Bryan was named to the Sports Business Journal 40 Under 40, one of the most prestigious honors in the industry. That list of past honorees includes leaders like Adam Silver, Kevin Plank, Brent Yormark. That is good company that Bryan Blair keeps. He is a leader who understands that winning matters, innovation matters, revenue matters, the student-athlete experience matters, and none of those things need to be in conflict. They're all part of the same mission. And finally, that brings me to why Syracuse University athletics matters. This is about more than wins or losses, though winning does matter, and we intend to do a lot of it, because I'll hear about that in Wegmans too. Syracuse University athletics is central to our academic mission and our student experience mission. The Orange spirit runs very, very deep. It creates memories for our students that last for decades and generations. It builds bonds that span generations and geographies. And that impact spans beyond our campus. It's not lost on me and many others that we're in the midst of really what is a remarkable economic renaissance here in Central New York. And Syracuse University and Syracuse Athletics has an important role to play in that economic renaissance. Economically, culturally, as a source of civic pride, what happens in this program reaches beyond our campus. I recently attended the women's basketball NCAA watch party over at Destiny, and the energy in that room from our community was electric. And what Coach Jack has built is extraordinary, and she does exemplify what it means to lead with both excellence and with empathy. And she, all of our coaches, all of our student athletes deserve the full support of both the university, but also the Central New York community. And I know that Bryan will rally that support. I know he will bring energy and creativity and professionalism and character to every corner of this program. So we are stepping into a new era for Syracuse University athletics. We're doing it with the right leader at the helm. So please join me in welcoming Syracuse University's 12th Director of Athletics, Bryan Blair.